Oh no, Pathfinder's coming out with a new edition. Oh no, it's the same. They're just changing everything we love. Oh no, it's this. Oh no, it's that. Whenever there's big news about something coming out, there's always a lot of misinformation that gets out about it. So I'm here today to tell you what really is behind the Pathfinder 2 remaster that has recently been announced by Paizo. For those of you who aren't necessarily in the know, welcome in. I hope you enjoy Pathfinder and tabletops as much as I do. And this is about what the goals that they have claimed that they are trying to accomplish with the remaster. One of the very first things that they wanted to get out of the way when they talked in their stream about this is it was to get away from the OGL to move to their new licensing, the ORC, the Open RPG Creative License. Now, I'm no lawyer, I don't know everything there is to know about all the nuance of this, but because recently, with the talks about what Wizards of the Coast have done with the original OGL that was supposedly never going to be touched, I understand why a lot of them have tried to move away from it. And they are trying to, with over 1,000 different companies, they're also trying to put this together in order to protect the rights of people to create and to enjoy this game and not have it completely tied to any one company. Now, but that's just the legal reasons. There's far more reasons also why they are going to be moving on and doing this remaster, as they would call it. So, what are the biggest things that people are talking about that is coming with it? So first, let's discuss the major things that they have talked about that will be changing. This is not a brand new edition. This is not Pathfinder 2.5 or Pathfinder 3rd edition. Well, they claim it's not Pathfinder 2.5, but honestly, if you were back in the day when D&D 3rd edition and 3.5 came out, they were really very interchangeable themselves. There wasn't that big of difference between the two. So I kind of think it's very similar to that. But they have put forth that all of your old content will still be able to be used moving forward. There will be some slight tweaks that we'll go into later that you might have to do, but you will be able to use all your adventure paths, all that you have already. If you don't want to completely update to the new one, it will require some very minor tweaks. You can still use it. The biggest thing everybody has been talking about that is changing is alignment. Alignment has been a thing in tabletop role-playing games for a long time, and they are doing away with the lawful, chaotic, good, evil alignment table as we know it. Now, for me, I don't think this is a big problem. I'm sure there are some players that, you need the guidelines of that to at least help them try and, keep their character to be at all consistent, but as most people bring up, what alignment's Batman? Is he chaotic because he, is a vigilante, but he has a strict moral code? Does that make him lawful? I mean, most people would say he's good, because he doesn't kill and stops crime. But it's always been a debate. It's been ambiguous. It's not quite clear. So what they are replacing this with is you can choose edicts and anathemas, much like already exists for classes such as barbarian, champion, druids, and others that also have these such restrictions naturally that you can use to help shape your character. Now, we don't have all of the information. At PaizoCon at the end of May 26th through 29th, we will be getting more information on all of this. So this is just an early look. There is something still to do with creatures that still really care about holy and unholy, such as clerics and champions, still really care about that stuff. So there will be ways that you could still possibly do more damage to demons or devils because you are holy, or vice versa. Again, a lot of this is all just general things at this point. So that is the biggest thing that is changing. Some terminology that changed, they wanted to change spell level to spell rank, so that some people, I guess, were still confused that at 10th level you cannot cast a 10th level spell. It just makes things a little simpler. Whatever, that's fine. I am not so enamored with the original name of spell level that I'm going to, scream from the heavens that they're going to change that. One of the largest things that to put this through is that the errata that has been going on for 4 years now, that they've been updating and changing and making sure things are smoothed out, will now be baked into the core rule books. Doesn't seem like that much until you go to their site and look through all of the errata that has come out since then. It is pages and pages worth. So it will actually help keep things smoother and help people understand rules better. A couple of the things that they have talked about revisiting and tweaking The Witch class is getting some small updates, largely to make it easier to use your familiar and hexes better, and to make it so that those things have a stronger tie to your patron, so you can tell stories better through them. So anything that makes a character more deep or interesting, I care about. A lot of times I care more about the story than I do deep, crunchy mechanics. So something like me, that sounds really great. Talismans are getting revisited and improved. This is good because I really found that most talismans are too expensive. With how tight money is in Pathfinder 2, I didn't really care to buy them very often. There's a couple I still did, but for the most part, I didn't really see them very much. The Alchemist has had some errata out that will now be baked into the core rulebook. So, how is this being released? There will be 4 books that will be released. There is the core rulebook. Well, it's not quite the core rulebook as we know it. It is the player core, which has pretty much everything that you expect from the core rulebook that we currently have, except some classes are missing. There will be no alchemist, no champion, no monk, and no sorcerer in this first player core book, but they are adding the witch into the core classes. And there is a new base ancestry going into there. The Leshy and the Orc will be added for the initial core book as well. As well as some versatile heritages, the Nephilim will now be in there, and it is made as a way to simplify Aasimar and Tiefling by combining them into one thing. You don't need 2 different ones to cover them. The biggest thing that is being removed from the core rulebook that we've come to expect is the magic items. I don't like that. I know they say they want to remove it to make it an easier book to navigate, to make it smaller, and so that it's not so cluttered and easy to navigate. Okay, but players need their magic items. They need to know what they're looking for. I mean, it's easy enough. We know at this point what they are, but it was just so nice to have everything in the one book. And so to pull them out and put them into the GM core, because that is the other main book that we'll be releasing alongside of it. It is scheduled to be released in October, according to their website, but during their presentation, he seemed to have the date mixed up of originally saying October and then second guessed and said November. So we'll have to stay tuned on exactly what date finally comes up for it. Other than that, it has everything you know from the GM's guide now, but it will actually also have something that everyone will pretty much want to buy if they want to have everything, including the magic items, which are a large part of what players like and what are being and your ways to reward your players is magic swag. That's what's really important. There will be a new Monster Core book as well. That will be the next one coming out in March of 2024. It will have, as they have stated, there will be some monsters that will have to be removed because they're going away from the OGL. Apparently some of those are still tied into that license. But they will be able to make their own book, and they claim that it will be pulling monsters from the bestiary 2s and 3s. They'll be putting a whole lot in there. For those of you who like troop rules, in their FAQ they did say that troops will not be in that book because it's a large part of the large chunk that they don't have to give to it because they want to keep things condensed. After that, it will be coming out in March. Finally, in July, we'll be getting Player Core 2. This will be giving us all the rest of the classes that we expect, plus presumably a few more of the other ones that have been in like the Advanced Player's Guide and others that we are familiar with. The ancestries that are said to be in it so far are the Hobgoblin, Gnoll, Lizardfolk, Tengu, Ratfolk, and Kobolds. And for versatile heritages, there is the Dampier and the Duskwalker. And there will be a new heritage in there. What it is yet? They're just teasing at this point. Again, tune into PaizoCon to learn more, as they have stated. This is where the Alchemist will be. They will also be getting a bit of an update. And another one of the things that they announced is that ability scores are gone. None of the things in the books really call out your ability score anymore. It's all about your modifier. So there's no real issue with that. The only weird thing is that after level 18, you will still need 2 bonuses to get up to +5. So how exactly they're going to do that, I don't know, but they said they have some ideas and they will work on them. They also have announced that because everything is coming out new, their beginner box has gotten a lot of very good reviews and a lot of people like it, so they will be releasing a new beginner box as well. They are discussing that the new rulebook coming out, the Rage of Elements, will have a free URL that you can go to in order to convert anything in there that doesn't exactly fit the new remastered rules, as they're calling them. But again, there's pretty much, the biggest thing is, well, alignment's been important, because you can do lawful damage, evil damage, you can do these kinds of things. This will be the biggest thing that you will have to update, so they say. And a big part of the monsters getting reworked is dragons. If you know me at all, you look at my channel logo, I love dragons. So it's very interesting that they've talked about that a lot of what they're going to do with it is that dragons are now going to more embrace their magical heritage, and that they are tied to magical traditions, arcane, divine, occult, and primal. There will be a total of 8 different types of dragons, and the 5 that were announced during the presentation were mirage dragons, diabolic dragons, fortune dragons, omen dragons, and imperial dragons. We haven't gotten any more than their names yet, but for the most part those sound cool. I will be very interested in to see what they do with dragons moving forward. So what I'm guessing from that is our classic chromatic versus metallic is gone. There will be replaced by something entirely different for dragons to do moving forward. So that's a quick roundup of what they've done. In conclusion, they're updating things. It's a reason for them to release new books. They're even releasing, special editions of these books. They have another 4 books that you have to buy. And after 4 years, I do understand they've gotten a lot of errata. It is nice to clean things up. I don't know how many people are actually going to go out and necessarily buy these. We'll have to wait and see just how much actually changes and if it's enough to justify 4 books. I mean, these are big books. These are not, small, cheap books that people can just easily pick up sometimes. They're a sizable investment to get them all. But yeah, I look forward to finding out more. I'm sure I will be tuning into PaizoCon as many of you will be, and I'll be letting you know any other new news that comes out in the meantime. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Do you want to see more from me? As always, everyone, remember to be awesome. Until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.